My name is Dennis Faber. I used to be the PI for the Time Center, Technology and Innovation in Manufacturing and Engineering in Baltimore, Maryland. I recently retired, and we're one of the centers that got sunsetted and enjoyed about 8 or 9, well, actually I guess about 10 years of NSF activity and fun and learning, and currently involved with the Mentor Connect project. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go on, but just to let you know that there are some mentoring resources available to you to help make some things occur a little smoother and easier for you. I've been involved in some mentoring activities over the last couple of years, proposal review panels, and sit on a number of NVCs or chair at least one NVC at this point. So as David said, I'd like to welcome you to the ATE community. It's a great group of like-minded individuals, strong, vibrant, active, and willing to help out. So if you reach out, they will certainly reach back and respond to you. Based on what we've learned from some of our management and mentoring experiences, this chart reflects some of the time and attention factors that you might want to think about as you listen to the rest of this presentation today, or the rest of the presentations today. These are the things that both new and experienced PIs have said typically demand more time and attention as you begin to think about starting up than maybe some other things that you might want to be focused on. So just a quick review. When we talk about budget management, we're talking about things like internal processes and the people involved in those. How do you crosswalk the NSF budget with your institutional budget? External partner interface, how are you going to connect with all their budgeting processes? There's certainly going to be problems, so what are you going to do to resolve those? And how are you going to monitor the budget and the burn rates? So these are some things, as you listen to the presentation today, you might want to pay special attention to. Lots of areas related to communication, certainly internal and external PR is one of those big things. Making sure that you have contacts lists for everybody is important. All your communication and PR pieces need to be sort of ready to go as quickly as you can. And then how do you establish and maintain regular contact with your partners and the other folks that are going to be members of your grant team, grant activities? Certainly grant operations, when you think about work plans, timelines, who's going to be responsible for what, those are pretty important things. Have you touch bases with all the folks in your organization that need to sign off on all the wonderful things you want to do? You may have to do some hiring and some staffing, and may have to invent some job descriptions to go along with those. Contracts, agreements, how do you get those developed and in place, and which ones work the best for you? From the time that you thought about the proposal, wrote the proposal and got approved, life may have changed a little bit, so what do you do about changing expectations and different activities that may need to be modified a little bit as you go forward? David will talk about this off and on all day today, but your program officer is your friend. They really do intend on helping you be successful, and I would encourage you to stay in close contact with them. Evaluation, you'll hear from the Evaluate Center about some of the key items, but data collection plans are important. What instruments are going to use to collect that data? Certainly the resources from the Evaluate ATE Center are important. There are lots of data collection issues. We had a hard time figuring out how to match what they collect at this place with what we collect at our place and they collect at this other place. So it's real important to kind of think about how you're going to measure your success. And then you've got things like getting partners involved in all the advisory committees and NVC meetings and whatever else is part of your proposal. Dissemination, probably not quite as important as some may think. Some of it is, you don't have much to disseminate when you first start out. So this may not be where you need to spend a whole lot of your energy. On the other hand, you need to be thinking about what are the kinds of things that we eventually want to disseminate about our project and activities, and how are we going to do that? Advisory boards are important to get in place. What's their role, composition, how are you going to staff them, how are they going to function? How are you going to integrate them with other local advisory boards that may be operating at your partner organizations? You better schedule them well in advance because all those folks are probably pretty busy like you are. And you have to actually host some meetings. And how are you going to do that and keep everybody happy? Report prep, you'll hear a lot about all the reports that need to be done. Let me just say that there are a number of them. They're important. And how you go about connecting that data from one report to another report might be one of the things that you think about pretty hard at the front end. And as I mentioned before, if there's a need for assistance, please feel free to tap into this community. It's very vibrant and willing to help, both informally and formally. The Mentor Connect project does provide some mentoring assistance to those folks who are preparing to enter the AT community at this point. We just recently started our efforts this year, but we'll have a lot of resources available for you that Elaine will talk about a little bit later that you can take advantage of. So as you think about what you're going to hear today, we thought this context, or at least some idea about what other folks in boats similar to yours have said are real important for them to think about, might help you take better notes and pay attention to the kinds of things that might come at you a little bit quicker than you might think they are.